Hey everyone, I just wanted to drop in really quickly and share something that I was thinking about um, tonight. Um, I'm going to be looking at Joshua chapter 1, verse 8, and I'm reading out of the New Living Translation. Um, just wanted to share something quickly, and then I wanted to uh, leave something that you can begin to discipline yourself to start doing. Joshua 1, verse 8 says, "Study this book of instruction continually. Meditate on it day and night, so you will be sure to obey everything written in it. Only then will you prosper and succeed in all that you do." Um, I love how the New Living Translation starts it out with study this book of instruction continually, right? It's keep it on your lips, like some other translations say, keep it continuously before your mind and those type of things. Um, but we get so caught up trying to say the law, right? In reference to the law of God that was given to Moses. But that word really has to do with instruction. So study this book of instruction, right? That was given. Study it continually. And I wanted to really point out how it kind of continues on and builds on top of that, right? Meditate on it day and night so that you'll be sure to obey everything that's written in it. One of the things that we focus on so much as believers, right? And we know that this is part of the first covenant, right? That first testament that we, today call the Old Testament. We know that this was during that time period. But one of the things as believers, we tend to really focus on how we start our day, right? You'll hear a lot of people to tell you the first thing in the morning, whether it's to start with a prayer or start by reading scripture or doing something first thing in the morning. This is how you get your day started. You want to start your day off right, right? Whatever type of pitch that they're trying to give over to you, that's typically where the focus lies for the individual that's following the Lord. Let me say this, that's a good thing. Me bringing that up is not to say that one should not start their day off, excuse me, with the Lord on their mind. That's not what I'm saying. But I think we tend to forget how we end our evenings as well, right? And I love how it says meditate on this day and night, right? It's an ongoing thing throughout the day and throughout the night. But I think it's very important to be able to finish off your day or your nightcap by having the Lord on your mind. Um, there's something about instruction that comes from the Lord, right? Here in the Old Testament, we know that God gave this instruction or the law over to the people um, as a picture of the type of life that he would have for them to live. And we know that they were not able to keep the law in the way that they should have been able to keep the law. But in our time, we look at the instructions of Jesus. And let me say this, because many people think that when we begin to look at the instruction of Jesus, that you totally need to disregard the law, right? The law is not something that is going to bring you righteousness, or let's say it this way, right standing with God. We know that that comes from Jesus, but there is nothing wrong in itself with the law, with God's instructions for living, right? Jesus did a very good job of unpacking and opening those things up even more, and even correcting previous understandings of how one ought to live according to the law, right? People had their way of doing things. We know that the Pharisees and the Sadducees had their way of doing things, and they wanted people to do it that way. And Jesus had to correct them many times, and he did it in various situations, explaining that he is the Lord of the Sabbath. He is the one that you ought to be feeding on. So meditating on this day and night, I think, is very important, that you close out your day, or you can say end of your night off with the Lord on your mind. Let me give you something that you can just begin to practice on a practical level, right? Um, Many find it helpful to read and study, not even necessarily study, but just even further read and reflect on something that you may have already been looking at throughout your day, and you're closing out with something, and you know lay down with it fresh on your mind, and you still chew on it a little bit. That's the concept of meditating on, right? Having it constantly before you, and really chewing and gnawing on it, uh, to try to bring about further insights. Um, but another thing that one can do is to worship. Um, and worship comes in many different forms, but I'm specifically thinking about worshiping the Lord, right, through music, right? I mean, taking the time to find something that really speaks, right, truth in the words. And I say that specifically because we have a lot of music out here that's watered down. The message or the gospel that's being presented in it is very watered down, and it doesn't have any substance to it. And so I'm speaking about finding some things that really um, open up and give you a greater picture, in regards to knowledge of God, and you can really chew on and reflect on his character, his goodness, and just really be there in that moment. And so doing that in itself does something as you prepare to lay down and get ready for bed. Um, you can do it, right, along with whatever you've been meditating on, or you just read, or you can just simply uh, have some music that really just sets the tone for you to rest in the Lord for that night. And I would even argue that that's another good thing to do alongside of having that on your mind as you get ready to lay down, that you understand that as you lay down to sleep, you are resting in the Lord, right? We don't just trust him throughout the day and when we first get up and all of that, but we trust him as we lay down to sleep. Joshua 1:8 again. Study this book of instruction continually. Keep it ever before you, right? Meditate on it day and night so you will be sure to obey everything written in it. Only then will you prosper and succeed in all you do. Um, Many people want to learn obedience, but obedience comes with putting things into practice and coming up under the right instruction and following. Grace, mercy, and peace be with you.